All right, let's get into our next discussion now. With another election year drawing closer, Nigerian political bigwigs have started strategizing, and political parties are making all efforts to put their house in order.
Nigeria's biggest opposition party, well, is it? The People's Democratic Party on December 9th would hold its national convention in Abuja, where card-carrying members of the party will elect a new national chairman to pilot the affairs of the PDP. Now, this is coming after years of an internal leader tussle that almost brought the party to its knees. In a few days' time, the PDP will get a new national chairman who is expected to steer the party to victory in 2019.
Now, things seem to be looking up for the PDP, with former Vice President Atiku now in their camp. How will all of these translate to victory for the PDP at the presidential poll come 2019? Is the big question Nigerians are asking and are looking forward to. All those who are interested in politics are looking at all of the intrigues, the permutation of all of these. Yeah. And especially we hear that there'll be more and more from the statements they've been making, there will be more defections from other parties to PDP soon.
To the PDP.
All right.
All right, well, one big defection happened only last week. Actually, over the weekend was formally announced. Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria. Well, we have a member of the People's Democratic Party, Segun Showumi, joining us from Abuja. Good morning and thanks for staying with us. Okay, so let's...
Yes, good morning, Lagos. Yeah. It's nice to be around here again.
All right, let's kick off this way. In announcing his return to the PDP formally, though via Twitter, Atiku Abubakar, one of the founding members of the party, said the issues that made him leave the party in the first place have been resolved. Can you confidently tell us that the issues really have been resolved for the PDP and it's really looking strong?
Well, I think, first of all, is to welcome Atiku Abubakar back into the party formally as a very strong member of our party. We're happy to have him back. Political parties are not organizations that is not vegetating. Organizations that vegetate are organizations that are very active and have a lot of people playing serious roles in them. And one of the most contentious ones where you have people pushing and tossing and pulling are political parties, especially in Africa.
All right. Let me ask you.
What's important is that the political party in Nigeria now.
Okay, let me ask. Sorry, there's a delay in all of this now. But
basically the APC and the PDP.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Now that Atiku is back in the PDP and there are moves to re-strategize, what is really going to change in the PDP now from what they used to do in the last 16 years that they ruled government, and now that a new PDP is coming on board? What is really the game changer here?
Well, the first thing is that losing an election will obviously give a political party the opportunity for some introspection, to listen to Nigerians now, not from the driver's seat, but from the opposition seat, and to also evaluate those who have taken over power from them, which is the APC. When you put all of this together and you sieve it and listen to what the Nigerian people are saying, what you find is that it is clear that the Nigerian people believe that they've made a fundamental mistake because their life have not been better. For want of being immodest, their lives have actually been worse. And therefore, all of the party issues is to get the party structures ready. In a couple of days' time, we'll be going for a convention. By the grace of God, all things are almost ready. The planning is at the very top level. We are hoping that the whole processes will go on smoothly. Delegates will choose their own leaders who they want them to drive their party. And immediately after that is over, then the business of planning for the election 2019 commences. When an Atiku Abubakar leaves APC, you want to ask, who are the others left there? Anybody who is in APC that is a very strong politician is probably just holding on to his claws or clutching to straws. Because clearly anybody who is not really within the cabal that is driving the Aso Rock right now, they've not been treated very well. So if people are trying to return back from the APC sojourn, obviously our party is big enough, is large enough, they can accommodate them, and we welcome them back. After all, They have the right to evaluate how they are doing, where they have gone. And if they think that they've not been treated well or they've not been treated decently, they have the right to retrace themselves. And if anybody retraces a step and comes back to the PDP, especially someone like the founding father, Atiku Abubakar, you must know that our party will be very happy to have him, and we're excited about the prospect of the future with him on board.
Well, like they say, a rose by any other name will still smell like a rose. What are the fundamental changes in the PDP that will, you know, sell it or make Nigerians buy into whatever the PDP stands for come 2019 and going forward? Because the same people that you say are disappointed by,
first of all,
the same people you say are disappointed,
the political parties themselves.
Yeah. The same people you said are disappointed by the APC, hold on. The same people you say are disappointed by the APC are the same people who booted out the PDP. So what has changed about the party?
Well, when they were leaving the PDP, I believe that they were leaving because there was some expectation that the power rotation arrangement should have been respected, which was that power should have been allowed, the North should have been allowed to produce a candidate. Obviously, that didn't happen at that time because the system and the party opted to go on with the continuity agenda of the Jonathan transformation ideas. Of course, we didn't win that election, and now they've been in that party. They've not been able to find their feet. They've not been able to find space. They've not been respected. They've not been carried along. They've not been given any sense of belonging there. They've been made to become onlookers and almost retired politicians, groaning and struggling in their private homes. And some of the really big ones among them who have responsibilities to their followers must have been under a lot of pressure to get out of that sinking ship and return to the party that they all funded. And the thing about the PDP is this. You can look at the party before you even get to the program. You can see that the party is trying its best at internal democracy. You can see that congresses are taking place. You can see that meetings are taking place. You can see that NEC meetings are taking place. You can see that people are jostling and struggling to vie like you should in a political party. And when you compare it to the alternative, which is the APC, you just laugh. That cannot be how a political party should be. And someone like Atiku Abubakar and a few others that are still waiting in the wings are so political. They know this game. They have an idea of what must happen in a political party. There are some signs that you need to see. There are things you need to feel if you have to be a member of a party. You cannot expect members of the people of that caliber who have a lot of passion and drive for Nigeria to just be onlookers, watching that the APC has not been able to run themselves first as a party, and they've not been able to even meet on their own campaign promises as a government. So it's just a rudderless ship, and anyone who insists on sinking with it, good luck to him. But the wise ones among them must come back on board very quickly to the PDP, join hands with the party, and let's build it together. For Nigerians are excitedly waiting. There's a need for us to have an alternative point of view. They know that the PDP has run government before. Yeah, there may be one or two issues. No government is perfect, really. But at least they know that Nigerians have a voice and politicians have a say. And the generality of Nigerian people can have their life having more meaning. You cannot have businessmen complaining in the country, have politicians complaining in the country, have big stakeholders of Nigerians complaining, have the youth being despondent underneath the APC, and then you wonder why people are leaving it. Anyone who stays there is either marooned or janjaweed into the place, or he has his own reason for not wanting to leave.
All right, now let's talk about the forthcoming convention of the PDP, which a lot of people are seeing like as the make or mar for the party going forward. Now, there has been so much movement for a consensus candidate, but certainly that seemed to be splitting a lot of stakeholders from the north and from the south. Why is there so much effort in looking for a consensus candidate when it's supposed to be an election? Everyone should go into the polls and contest for the chairmanship of the party.
It is not unusual for people to look for all sorts of arrangements to make things a lot easy. But what is sacrosanct and what is firm is that the People's Democratic Party, being a democratic institution, will allow the process to go to its logical conclusion via a free, fair, transparent delegate election. And whoever comes top at that delegate election obviously will lead the party going forward. But it is our belief, obviously, that some of these arrangements and some of these beliefs within the system should be respected. For Nigeria runs on a tripod. We have said it clearly that the presidency goes to the north. And we have also listened agitatively. We have listened well to the Igbos, and we have thought that, okay, it's time to put the vice presidency in the southeast, beg your pardon, and we think that the southwest should produce the chairman. But that is not to say that if it is not micro-zoned, any other person cannot contest. What we'll be looking for is a process that Nigerians can be proud of. Remember that even the whole of this democratic experiment in Africa is still a work in progress. And the best learning curve is the PDP, because it's the only party that is attempting to be a democratic institution. I wonder what you want to say about a party called the APC. They're in government, they have all the wherewithal, they can't even have a NEC meeting. They can't have a midterm convention. You can't even see their party secretariat busy. The best you see is just a few of them who have hijacked that party and embarrassed all of the other people who joined forces with them to form government. So if they want to come back, obviously the PDP is by far better than the APC if you are interested in politics. And when it comes to the governance issues, obviously Nigerians be the judge of that. Their lives is not better. The cost of living is higher. If inflation is at a higher level, the cost of even fuel is very high. Right about now, they're going to be dealing with fuel scarcity, something that has been completely forgotten in the PDP era. Businesses are folding up. Businessmen cannot even find the gusto to open up new businesses because of the medley of misdirected policies of this APC government.
All
so
right,
every Nigerian that is discerning must just, I'm not saying the PDP is perfect, but they must be discerning and encourage us.
All right, let's come back to the issue of PDP and the convention. Well, some analysts are looking at the body language of the bigwigs in the party, Ibrahim Babangida, the former head of state, and former President Goodluck Jonathan, and people in their group against the group of the governors. And they're saying it's going to be a battle royale come December 9, a battle for the soul of the PDP. Who really should be carrying the day after this convention happens? And what would it indicate?
There is no such thing as a battle royale. The PDP as a political party, we have our culture and our tradition. There are some humans that we call the traditional stakeholders of this country. Some of those stakeholders are the ones you mentioned, General Babangida, the former President Goodluck Jonathan, and a few of them, T.Y. Danjuma, and so many others. When the stakeholders and the guardians of our nation call the members of our party to a meeting, they are mostly respected and their voice carry weight. But it does not invalidate the reality of a political process. The governors as a bloc are also a very, very strong and important structure within any party. But obviously, they will bring arguments to the table. But I can assure you, like you will expect at every PDP event, by the time we're coming into Eagle Square on Saturday morning, everything will be looking nice and tidy. We'll do an election, delegates will cast their vote, we'll count the vote, the process will be as transparent as can be possible, and we hope that it will be free and fair, and new drivers will emerge. Remember that the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria has been at this for a while, and therefore it is our wish that, and the prayer of those of us that are members of this party and stakeholders in this party, that this convention will be a referendum even for us, to see how much we have learned and to see how much we've also deepened the processes of internal democracy.
All right, former military president Ibrahim Babangida was cautioning party members, saying that all the posts are not, they shouldn't be based on the highest bidder, as the case may be. Now, some party members have said that the coming of Atiku is going to bring in more resources into the party, but he has hijacked the party apparatus one way or the other. But let's narrow it down to the issue of money. What role will money play in all of this? Because we hear there are lots of political games here and there when it comes to money.
Well, the most unfortunate thing about those who offer opinions about PDP and the way money is spent is that they are needlessly sanctimonious. There's no political party that can run itself without money, and some money will be required. Just as it is required in APC, it's also required in PDP. But one thing that the PDP has demonstrated over time is that the PDP has a soul. There is a particular way and a particular spirit to PDP. And it is that spirit that cannot be broken, not by crisis, not by the courts, not by imposition, because the party is very rooted. And therefore, if Atiku Abubakar comes into the party, who told you that there are no other members in the party who are even able to spend money if it came to that? But that's not it. What we're looking for is that we're looking to Atiku, we'll watch his body language, we'll listen to what he wants to do for Nigeria, we'll give him as good a chance as any other aspirant in our party. But Atiku Abubakar knows very well that our party is a party of procedure. He knows that he's welcome there, he knows that he's loved there, but he knows that is not going to be given to him a la carte. He will have to reach out to the stakeholders, we will have to engage him, we'll have to interrogate him, and it's not going to be exclusive. There are still a few other good presidential candidates in the PDP, and one of the presidential candidates of the PDP, if it is Atiku Abubakar, good luck to him. If it is the other man from Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, good luck to him. If it is some of the other names, even like McAfee, good luck to him. But one thing that is certain is that whoever the PDP presents is what we are begging Nigerians to vote for, because clearly we can all see that the APC doesn't have a hang of what they're doing, and everybody in Nigeria cannot wait for them to wake up after about 14 years of slumber to begin to deliver on the promises that they made, which they should have met like a year ago. Does the PDP really know what Nigerians want if it gets another shot at the presidency in 2019? You talked about new drivers on the driver's seat. Yes. From what we are seeing, there doesn't seem to be any fresh blood in the PDP, you know, that will take Nigeria to where it wants to be. Well, I don't want to start the campaign before the campaign. What is important is that the process is ongoing. We never know who is going to become the presidential candidate. But one thing that is certain, that whoever the PDP will be presenting as a presidential candidate will be rigorously groomed and rigorously checked and rigorously examined on the inside. He will never be allowed to run away from a debate like the APC people usually do. He will never be allowed to run away from answering tough questions. He will never be allowed to make promises that will not be interrogated. He will never be allowed to just talk for talk's sake and not be able to deliver. He will never be allowed to come into government and not form government in 6 months. He will never be allowed to be in government for 3 years and not fill the boards. He will never be allowed to run a medley of policies that is pulling everything down. He will never be allowed to go all over the world calling Nigeria some of the most despicable names. He will never be allowed to run anti-corruption on a medley of just patriotism for his own friends, sacrimoniously looking away from them and going after them. No, 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 no. The PDP will deliver a presidential candidate that will be the president of the entire Nigeria. That you can take to the bank and bet on it. One of the tough questions that Nigerians would want to ask, especially if there's a debate, is why was corruption allowed to be the order of the day under PDP's watch? And what will change if PDP gets it again in 2019? Well, it is most embarrassing. Yeah, it's most embarrassing that Nigerians see it that way. It's a very complex narrative that the APC has been the one propelling. You need to remember, all of the instruments with which we fight corruption today were instruments created by the PDP because we knew that it's a challenge. The EFCC was created underneath our regime. The ICPC was created underneath our regime. We also did what you call the judicial reform was also done under there's another act that was made to make litigations and all of that easier, was also done. So it is a work in progress. But this Janjaweed Gestapo style, we're not even used to it. Nigerians are not even used to it. And it's not even working. More money is getting lost under this government. Nobody can see it. Transparency International, the watchdog for the entire war for corruption, has even said that by their estimation, Nigeria is even worse off. But the truth is that, yes, we will work harder at it. We'll continue to plead with Nigerians that when you're given responsibility, you don't have to put your hand in the till and go and steal. But please, 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 do not hang corruption on PDP. Corruption has been around since we knew it. For even a couple of days ago, military officers that ruled the country before are still having to return money. Were they PDP members? Obviously, it's a national problem, and we're going to take it on. We're going to face it. We have learned from our mistake. There can be no looking the other way, and we'll be slightly stricter. The only thing you can blame us for is that we didn't maybe bully people, and we didn't do extrajudicial things, and we didn't hound people. It didn't mean that we weren't fighting corruption. Those of them who have been hounding people, what have they done to Maina? What have they done to the grass cutter that cuts grass at a very ridiculous price? What have they done to the money that MTN said they gave people? What have they done to too many allegations? What have they done to the issues of the new NNPC and the money? What have they done? They have not done anything. What they have been doing is just running after the PDP and his members, trying to make it seem like maybe we did something that they don't even know they're doing, forgetting that we are all politicians. We know what's going on. The cookie doesn't crumble any better on the other side, and we know that they are not funding their own, they are not funding their activities in APC by selling cattle. They are funding it by money. And most of this money, obviously, we all know, but don't worry, when we get to election and campaign period, we'll intoxicate the APC and we'll investigate them, and we'll have a conversation with them on what they have done with their so-called anti-corruption mantra, because we know that it is just sanctimonious hypocrisy.
Looks like we have to allow.
It looks like we have to drop it here right now. Segun Showomi, a member of the People's Democratic Party, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.